Hi there, this is Lyndon Thorpe, and this is Mindful Moments 2. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're new. This is an opportunity for you to develop a mindful practice, and I'm here on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday to guide you. I'm a seasoned meditation teacher and mindful educator, and each day we go deeper. You can also continue this work with my product, my specially made product called Lodestone 1, which I'll leave information about below this window when we've finished. Okay, now first of all, let me tell you, this is not a quick fix. If you're not sure what it's all about, this is practice. That means you practice for several days. In fact, I recommend 30 days. Psychiatrists, psychologists all agree that we need 30 days to rewire the brain. And if you've been conditioned for 20, 30, 40 years by society and by expectations outside yourself, from your culture, from your creed, from whatever it is, then it takes a long time to break through that and establish a clear path. The whole target of mindfulness is to heighten your awareness and find your true nature. Get back into touch with your true nature, because the social conditioning covers over of that. And we have to dig deep to get below it. I think this is a miracle and you're going to be superb tomorrow. You will be superb if you come back tomorrow night, or tomorrow lunchtime rather, and you'll be even more superb if you start working with Lodestone 1 today. I really recommend you get started on that straight away. Now, every session begins in the same way. I ring a Buddhist bell. This signals the beginning of the session, and when you detect the vibrations of this bell, allow your eyelids to drop, just very naturally. But don't close your eyes entirely. Keep them open a fraction and look at the tip of your nose, and this will keep you aware. We're going to need you to be aware during the whole 20 minutes ahead. So let's get started. Good position is sitting or standing with your feet flat on the floor, your spine vertical, the crown of your head going up into the sky, the base of your spine going either down into your chair or through your feet into the planet, okay, if you're standing. So let's get started without any more hesitation. Here we go. Wonderful. So just take a few moments to come down into the core. Now this is really important, that we close away the visual. The visual field dominates us all day long with screens and appearances and so on. But down here in the inner core of you, your unique inner core, you can start to get into a very different mode. So take a moment to settle down. Takes a few seconds. And as you do so, you'll notice two things. The first one is your breath. Yes, we are never more aware of our breathing than when we close our eyes, or when the visual field is limited. So just be aware of your breathing, but don't change anything. Just breathe with your breath. Breathe consciously. Conscious breathing has hundreds of benefits. We don't do it very often, but you need to do it every day. So do it here with me. So just breathe with the in-breath and breathe out with the out-breath, and just follow the breath in the same way that you're going to follow my voice in a moment. This is non-doing. You don't need to do anything. I will guide you. Just follow my voice and follow my instructions and you'll be fine. The second thing you may notice is your tendency to generate words or even images as I speak. We're trained to do this in the visual field. Imagery is all. Words are all in the visual field. But here, away from that, in the inner core, where reigns, then we don't need those images or words. In fact, images and words are symbols. And in the inner core, we want to get into what is reality beyond and behind those symbols. Okay, so if you have a tendency to do that, just gently stop yourself and go back to following my voice. Okay, let's get started. The first thing to do, stage one, is to channel all the power of your mind. Human minds are incredibly powerful, but we hardly ever use them properly. So channel the power of your mind into a strong beam, a laser beam of heat and light. Okay, lasers can cut. We're not going to cut, we're going to illuminate. Okay, and let's take that strong beam outside your immediate environment, outside your walls, ceilings, windows, if you're in a car, outside the car, and if you're outdoors, as far afield as you can. We're going to project that laser beam as far afield as we can, and we're going to systematically detect any vibrations there. Okay? And when we encounter something, we're going to pause, accept it, and move on to detecting more vibrations. Here, we don't need to label. We don't need to guess. We just need to accept. So please start to scan. And to do that, I'd like you to use every part of your body, from the crown of your head right down to the tips, like an animal. Imagine you're a tiger stalking through a jungle. Every tiny vibration, every tiny sound, remember, sound is vibration. Every tiny sound represents either a meal or a threat. So detect those vibrations with your entire body. Wonderful. And as you go on doing that, remember your breath is sustaining everything you do 24/7 for 50, 60, 70, 80 years. So now is the time to be really grateful for that breath. Without it, we wouldn't exist. Wonderful. Let's move on to, very smoothly and slowly, direct your laser beam inside your immediate environment. Inside your walls and windows and ceilings, inside your car, right up to the edges of your interior, and if you're outdoors, just 30-meter radius all around you, and start to detect vibrations in the same way. Now this will tone up your vagus nerve, and that will bring you enormous benefits. So detect vibrations above, below, to the left, to the right, in front and behind. Right into your ceiling corners, right down to your floor corners and under your furniture. And if you're outdoors, right up to the barrier of your radius. And when you detect a vibration, pause, accept, and move on. And go on doing that systematically, slowly, steady, with all your might, with animals and peoples can detect vibrations at 5 or 6 miles away. I've seen that with my own eyes with Australian Aboriginals. We can do it too, but the mind has forgotten, the body has not. But with practice we can get these skills back. That will balance our body, mind and spirit. So as you go on detecting carefully, meticulously, acknowledge your breath in the background, which is slower now, deeper, and feel enormous gratitude that we live on planet Earth and that the Earth is the only planet we know of that creates breathable gas. Also, your lungs, the most extraordinary of all your organs, are constantly processing that oxygen, retaining the nutrients to make you thrive and survive, and then eliminating the potentially harmful components of oxygen. So the breath is your life. Without it, it would not exist within 3 or 4 minutes. So please, as you go on detecting vibrations in every corner of your interior environment, remember the breath. Breathe with your breath, breathe consciously as often as you can, and that will make your lungs stronger and bigger. Greater capacity for breath if you breathe consciously. Detect vibrations above, below, to the left, to the right, in front and behind. Wonderful. So now let's move to the final stage. Slowly, carefully, direct your laser beam inside your body, right down to the tips of your toes, and start to scan along the tops of your feet, along the soles of your feet to the heel, illuminating, detecting vibrations, remembering that every muscle, every bone gives off vibration. And we can learn how to detect those vibrations. So go on scanning, illuminating, right up into your ankle joints, base, and bringing heat and light from your powerful mind into those joints to soften them, make them more flexible, and begin to scan up your lower leg, illuminating steadily, inch by inch, until you come to the calf muscles. And muscles are often hard, bombardment of gravity or overuse. So bring the heat and power of your mind into those muscles and soften them. And then go on up into your knee joints. Bring heat and light to make space in those knee joints, soften them so that they are flexible and you have good range of movement in your knees. Then bring your laser along your thighs. These are the longest limbs in the body often, and the longest muscles too. So start to scan meticulously, little by little, illuminating everything, detecting vibrations, any small vibrations, and eventually you will encounter your torso. And right at the bottom of the torso is your base chakra. This is the most important of your energy centers. And this is where we generate most of our energy. If you had a heat camera now, you would see this is a hot place, often the hottest place of your body. So right next door to your base chakra are your coccyx bones. They are tiny bones, 3, 4, maybe 5, that are the remnant of a tail when you used to be a different kind of mammal. So scale those. And then we come to the chunky bones of the lumbar spine. These are weight bearing, and there's a bone, a big chunky bone, and then a disc to protect between the bones, and also to protect the spinal cord, which is inside those bones. So start to scan up those bones, bone, disc, right up past the intestines, right at the back of the body, bone, disc, and then eventually up past the diaphragm, the breathing muscle, bone, disc, and then you'll come across the rib cage. The spine locks into the rib cage, and inside the rib cage you have all the vital organs, but the most important is the heart. And feel the vibrations of that heart now, electromagnetic waves being sent out into the world. The power of the heart is extraordinary, 60 times greater than the brain. So feel that extraordinary energy and then climb up behind the heart, bone, disc. The bones are smaller now as we get into the chest, bone, disc, and right up to the top part of your chest. And there you will find the lungs. These are flickering away tremendously, processing the energy 24/7, processing the oxygen, allowing you to survive. So climb up behind those lungs, flickering away with activity, right up to the notch on the back of your neck. And from here on up, the spine gets much finer, the bones are smaller, still a disc separating each of your spinal bones, bone, disc, and eventually it disappears up inside the skull. And then right at the top of your spine, near the crown of your head, is the atlas joint, and this is where the skull balances on top of the spine, which gives human beings the most extraordinary range of movement of the head and face, over 10,000 different expressions and movements. We are extraordinary communicators. In this way, we need this incredible skull. And above the crown of the head, the heavens, the sky. And there you have it, your glorious spine, which has lengthened now by at least 1 centimetre. Sheer power of mind. No doing, no stretching, just the power of your mind and your ability to visualize. And you probably feel superb. Allow your eyelids to float open and just gaze softly straight ahead. Wonderful. If you feel as good as I do, then the rest of the day will be superb. But feel this strength, the tower of your spine lengthened, the lungs working wonderfully now because you've done 20 minutes conscious breathing. The whole form of you is tremendously strong now, and you can gaze out into the visual world without being pulled out. Stay back in your spine, stay with your breath. Your eyes are soft, behind the eyes the muscles are soft, around the eyes, and the world looks very different when you've done this kind of practice. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you.